This needs it's got some mess ups. Anyway, all right, we're live. Hey, welcome back, Business Geeks, to the Business Geeks podcast. I'm Super Joe Pardo, and I am joined by my two wonderful non-musically dancing co-hosts
We can try.
here on the business. And I need to mute this. This is so loud. Okay. There we go. So, Pretenders music in the background, and they're dancing. I'm joined by my co-host Samantha Riley of SamanthaRiley.global. Sam, how have you been? It has been, I don't know, what's it been, like 6 weeks now? I feel like it's been
It
forever.
has. I was just saying to Leon, it feels weird because the last time we caught up, I was living in a different house in a different state. Jen was on a holiday in the mountains. Like, I feel like we've got so much to catch up on.
A
We
whole life. We've lived a whole life since we were
I
here
know,
last.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you're doing well. And in your background looks somewhat similar to the background. If you weren't paying too close attention, you probably wouldn't even notice that it is different and that you're in a different part of the country. And we will get to that in a little bit. As well as below here, we have Jennifer Crawford of Sparent.co, who is also one of the co-hosts here. Sam, Jen, God, I'm out of practice. Jen, how the heck are you doing?
Well, Joe, I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. I feel like you're a little frazzled this week, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We're going to unpack that a little bit, I think. But I have some business news, but I don't know if this is,
Ooh.
I don't want to pollute the lighthearted introductions.
Oh.
I'll share later.
Oh.
I'll share later.
Okay. All right. Well, we will.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
we will
now
get
I'm
to
on the
it.
edge of my seat.
That
Jen doing that to
is.
us. That's a hook and a half.
Yeah, people love a cliffhanger, Sam.
Marketer at heart.
Yes. I got to keep them watching, you know?
100%, 100%. So we will get to all that and more, and what I've been up to, and we also have a topic, but we also have your questions that you have going on with your business right now that we're here to help answer for the next, I don't know what, 45 minutes or so, and would absolutely love to have you ask it in the chat. So just pop your question in there, and we will get to answer it for you and give you the best advice of the 100 years of experience that walks and talks in the Business Geeks.
Wow.
Wow, I know, right?
Wow.
Wow,
Now, when you
wow.
say it like that, Joe,
It's
you're
powerful stuff, ain't
fossilizing
it?
us.
It is
Yeah,
Fossilizing.
powerful. It does make me feel a little old, however.
Well, I mean, it's not like each of you are carrying 50 years here. Come on now. 40 years? Are you. Anyway, before I dig myself a bigger hole, Sam, let's start off with a light note. Sam, where are you? What happened? You moved?
Oh my goodness, I am. I've moved north. You know, when you move north in Australia, it gets warmer. So I'm up in beautiful tropical sunny Queensland. So for anyone that doesn't know where that is, it's on the east coast of Australia and up. And where we're living is a vacation town. So it feels like we're permanent vacation every single day, and it is divine.
It sounds divine.
Yeah,
That
that's what life
sounds.
should feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Palm trees and pina coladas. That's all I can say.
Sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Sam. I know moving
Yes.
is so stressful, and even when you're moving someplace better, it's the process is painful. So you made it look
Oh,
easy though.
oh, well, no, behind the scenes there was a lot of stress and there was a
Yeah.
lot of tears, and
Oh.
there was a few times where I was like, what have we done? We've made the biggest mistakes of our lives. But we've now settled in and life is beautiful again.
I'm so glad.
That is
Thank you.
great to hear. Yes, yes, yes. So, but I mean, you had a beautiful view where you were before. I mean, you got like
Oh, totally. We were
whales
living
and
on the ocean.
dolphins and,
Totally. Yep.
breaching right outside your window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but life's short, and just because you like one place doesn't mean that you can't go and experience another place. And Leon and I are very much about let's experience as much as we can in this lifetime and realize how many beautiful places there are and how many amazing experiences we can have. And it doesn't mean that we didn't enjoy our ocean views. We're super grateful to have spent 2 years watching dolphins and whales and sunrises every day, but we're on a new adventure.
Woo! That
love
is
it.
phenomenal. So, Jen, fill us in on your business news. What's
Yes.
Yeah,
going
well,
on?
this is going to be a bit of an ongoing saga, but I was approached with an opportunity to buy another virtual assistant agency. So we are in what they call due diligence right now. So this is where they've accepted our offer, and we get to ask lots of questions and dig into, a little deeper into the depth of their business, the financials, and accountants have paperwork, and attorneys have paperwork, and the bank has paperwork, and it's a lot of paperwork. But as a business owner and entrepreneur, I have sold a business, but I've never purchased a business. So whether it actually happens or not, because anything can happen from between now and the closing table, I am enjoying just learning about the process of acquiring another business and experiencing it from a buyer's, standpoint. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I hope it
Wow,
happens.
Jen.
Yeah.
That's congratulations. That's
Yeah.
exciting news.
Big
That
business girl pants
is.
had to come on because we're a relatively young business, and we don't have any business debt. And I'd always loved that, that we don't have any. So this will be taking on business debt for the first time, but I'm surprisingly very chill about it.
That's a good sign, isn't
Yeah,
it? That's a good
yeah,
sign.
yeah, yeah.
That
Exciting.
is awesome. How did they come approach you? Did you approach them?
Well, I actually am friends with a really amazing operations specialist, and she was brought in as a consultant for this agency. And through her relationship with them, it came up that the CEO was looking to sell. She has other businesses, and this one was just kind of. She's like, I don't really need this. She was only working a couple, hours a week, and it wasn't her passion. She kind of wanted to simplify her business portfolio, so to speak. And so Kiva, my friend, was like, "Well, I might know somebody who might be interested." And so she contacted me, put the parties together, and yeah, it's
So
moving
good.
along. It's very exciting.
That's it's great when a deal can come together like that.
Yeah,
And
I hope it does. We'll see. So far
yeah,
so good.
yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean
like you
I've
said, what a great learning experience.
Yeah, it's a great learning experience. Yeah.
It is because you get to see so many other aspects of business that you don't normally get to touch on, and you get to see how other people operated their business with impunity, which is always fun to be able to dig into.
Yeah, and just
Good
it's
point.
another way to grow your business that I think small business owners don't necessarily consider is actually purchasing a similar business and having that be part of a long-term growth strategy. So I had that in the seed in the back of my mind with no timeline attached to it. So when this opportunity presented itself, because my business partner and I had already sort of tossed the idea around casually, we were like, well, let's consider it. Maybe we can do this. And we talked to the bank, and they're like, yeah, ladies, we think you could do this. And we talked to the accountants. They're like, yes, ladies, we think this is a good move. Let's just get all the information and move forward. So
That's
Awesome.
wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. Any idea how when the closing would be?
I'm not sure. We have a little bit more time left in our due diligence. Our loan process is going on, so my guess is probably about maybe less than 30 days
Oh,
Oh,
at this
nice.
point.
wow.
Yeah,
So exciting.
if there are no hiccups,
Oh,
there's no like surprises.
Well, we will have to
well,
follow that story for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
and crossing our fingers that there isn't. And even if there is, you're very well equipped to handle them.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm not
Absolutely.
easily rattled, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, so that's great news on both ends there. Getting to move into somebody else's business, and being all up in their business in the process. But
What about you, Joe? What's
Yeah,
going
Joe,
on in your world?
why are you so hectic and frantic this afternoon?
Oh, well, I mean, look, so I mean, obviously, I've mentioned that I'm back at at the company. That's one of the reasons that I'm here, like this, with a different background, and I mean, so, in some of my videos I've shot in my office here, but not too much. So I'm still trying to figure out the camera layout and the best situation, so it's not obtrusive or intrusive to like business stuff during the day, unlike my desk at home where it's literally purpose built for using my computer up against the wall and then having the lights and everything be right for shooting video and having a better camera than I'm using my cell phone as a webcam at the moment, which I see looks fine on this end, but over on YouTube land, I look really pixelated and mushy. I don't know why. Do I look mushy to you guys?
Yes,
Only
to
when you
me.
do the close-up like view when you.
I still no, I still look like it in here on YouTube world.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. Hey Lou, good to see you.
Oh,
Thank you for
hello.
joining us. Always good
Ah,
to see Lou in the chat.
lovely.
Yeah, so it's just been really busy with getting a lot of balls rolling here at the shop, and fixing some of the things that have been going on here on like the tech side, the process side, our 24/7 roadside assistance side. All of that has been a little. It's been a bit hectic, but for the most part, I've been able to do it, and I was on vacation for a little while there as well. So that was fun and exhausting going down to Disney World with the kids, and being like
Mm-hmm.
nonstop, literally, and even driving there and driving back. Hey Al, good to see you in the chat. Let us know if you have any questions that we could help you with here. Would be great, great to have you ask those questions. So yeah, so then like on the other side, like I'm trying to balance all of that with my clients and with putting out YouTube videos, which I haven't done too much of in the last 2 weeks because of vacation and all that. So I got a lot of catching up to do on that front, and and then I have Icon coming up soon, the Independent Podcast Conference
Wow.
in September. So we're supposed to do it in person. I actually had to reach out to the hotel because they hadn't gotten back to me about shrinking our dates up so that I could like reduce some of the cost. So we're shrinking it down to just 2 days instead of 3 days, and that's reducing the cost by like over a third. Which is helpful because like I'm still not sure how many people are going to show up for this thing. Like I would love for everybody to show up. I don't know. I mean, other people seem to be getting away with doing in-person events, no problem, right? But I don't know. I haven't dipped my toe in the water yet. So my goal is to get my costs so far down that that it's not the end of the world if it just breaks even. Like it's not like putting out a whole bunch of money to potentially break even. I think it's important at this point just to have the event as a whole, like just to get back, back out there, so we're not like in the rearview mirror of people's minds. So I think that's really important. Even if it ends up costing me, I end up say, like I said, breaking even or even not breaking even, not costing me a ton of money to do so, just to even have the event. Tim, what's up, Tim? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, humble man. Tim says Super Joe on vacation. Say it isn't so. Yeah, I was on vacation. And aside from, so when we drove down, I did a bunch of work in the passenger seat for the first few hours. I even shot a video that you can see on my YouTube channel, like doing a preview video for Shark Tank. So that was fun to do because I actually mounted my phone as a webcam to the windshield. I wasn't driving, obviously, and used my laptop and did the screen sharing and all that stuff right from my laptop, right from in with a headset. And I had it set up so like you couldn't hear the kids yelling in the background or anything like that. Like it was great. So I did that, and I was planning on doing more videos while I was down there, but I was like, I ended up doing one video while we were there, and it was like a 20-minute Q&A video from a bunch of questions I had. So other than that, I didn't work. So once I got done with I had to build a spreadsheet thing, like tracker for somebody for one of my clients, and I had to walk through a client call actually while we were driving. But by 10 o'clock at night on that Thursday, I was done. And I
Nice.
didn't do any work until I did that one video like 8 days later or something like that. And that was just like me sticking the phone to like the glass on like what do they call it, like a porch, like a glass sliding door there, and that was my video, my contribution to at least have a video come out so I wasn't completely irrelevating myself. But yes, Brent Basham. Hey, Brent, I will get back to you. You don't have to text me crickets. I will get back to you, man. It's just been really hectic. Indie PodCon is happening live in person. Tim, it will be there. He got his
Oh,
ticket.
there you go. You've got your first ticket sold there, Super Joe.
Yes, yes. Well, I have a few. I mean, I have a few tickets sold. I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. So this view is a little bit better. It doesn't block everybody's face. Lou says, Joe, you didn't dip your toe into in-person events. I jumped in full body and went to a concert last night and was freaking out with how many people there were. I've done that as well. Going to concerts and going to Disney World and stuff, and to a certain extent, you just kind of gotta have some faith that you're doing the right thing, and you're outdoors as much as possible or separated enough, or only seeing people for seconds, a minute at a time when you're passing them. But it's different though than having an event, right, where everybody's sitting in the same room for the whole entire time. But I believe at least our hotel has upgraded their system, their air conditioning system to filter out viruses, bacteria, and stuff like that. So when I was at Disney, that's what like my hope was like, okay, they put that this is why we don't have a mask mandate anywhere except on a bus and on the monorail, because those places probably don't have those filtration systems. So I get it. Everywhere else, I really hope they've taken the time and money to put it, to filter the air. And if nothing else, it's all in my head, and hopefully nobody gets sick, because we don't need that. But yeah, so that's just a part of where it's been a really hectic week trying to get back into the swing of things after that nice long vacation there. Yes. Let's see. Al S says, "Are y'all familiar with Damon John from Shark Tank on TMZ every Friday afternoon to discuss the subject of Follow the Money?" I don't watch TMZ, and I'm pretty confident that my two co-hosts do not either.
I'm in Australia. No
Yep.
idea what that is.
It's like a
No TMZ in Australia.
Video tabloid.
Okay.
Yeah, video-based
Sorry.
tabloid. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Damon John is on Shark Tank. I didn't know he had a segment on TMZ. That's pretty cool to know. I'll have to go and see if I can watch some of that online. But yeah. Anyway, so we did have a topic today since nobody has any questions yet. Jen, you brought this topic to the foreground. I have yet to know anything about it. So you want to?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of feel-good news from our friend Dolly Parton. And I have yet to meet anybody or seen anybody on social media say anything negative about Dolly Parton. And we're not going to start
Oh,
now
she's
because
adorable.
she's amazing.
I love her.
Yeah, everybody loves Dolly Parton. And, one of the reasons I adore her, besides all of her charity work and her musical talent, is that as an employer, I believe she sets some really great examples on how to treat the people that work with you. And this article or this news story came out in February, but I don't feel like I heard enough people talking about it. And this is an announcement that Dollywood is going to start offering free education, tuition fees and books, and any fees associated with tuition or with education will be covered 100% by Dollywood. And this benefit is effective on your first day of employment. So I felt this was so generous, not just generous, but also very smart, because they have a lot of different fields represented within Dollywood, from hospitality, restaurants, customer service, all sorts of jobs where an education could make her employees not just better workers, but more invested in Dollywood as a career. So I just love her, and I love the spirit of this, and I love that it covers a broad spectrum of education, from trade school to traditional degrees to I don't know, everything in between. So this is somebody that I feel like is doing capitalism right. What do you guys think?
So
I think that. Oh, go for
go
it,
ahead.
Joe.
No. You go, Sam. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, I think it's fantastic. I can see there's so many businesses that are struggling to get staff right now. I know that you're having that problem in the US. We're definitely having it in Australia as well. I think that this is a smart move to attract workers. There is one little part of my business brain that's going, how are they going to do this? Because I don't know how much a degree is over there, but here that would blow. I just can't get my head around how they're going to make this work from a financial standpoint. So I think it's fabulous. I can see why they've done it. I love it all. There's just this one little thing going, how are they going to pull this off?
It's expensive. I think, I don't know for sure, but within that article, it's been a while since I read it when it first came out, and then just pulled it because I had it saved in my Pocket app. But I think they may have brokered some sort of educational discounts, for lack of a better word, with an overarching educational institution. So I think there's like an umbrella institution, and everything sort of funnels through that. That might be one way. And of course, this is a business deduction for them. So, I have a feeling Dollywood, their pockets are certainly deeper than ours, our typical small business. But yeah, it's a good question, because it is an investment for them. But I think it's a long-term investment in lower turnover, better talent, developing their employees. So I think this is more of an investment than it is an expense, and it will have an ROI for them down the road.
Totally. Not just in, I think, being able to attract the talent, but to be able to keep them invested in their work and be happy at work. I think it's really smart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So smart. So smart. I've been obsessed with this concept of work-life integration lately, as opposed to work-life balance, and I wrote a blog post about it recently, because I have so many problems with the paradigm of work-life balance. It's such a flawed ideal. And I think it's also not the goal for most people. I think they want work-life integration, where your work and your life don't have to compete, because you enjoy your work and it adds something and complements your life. It's not something that you need to silo because it's awful and you want to keep it separate and distinct. So I think this is a really good example of developing that type of culture, where your work is complementing and adding to your life other than just financially.
Totally. Could not agree more.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it is great. I mean, I remember talking about this on my show back in like November when I think it was like came out was like Target, and there was a couple others that were like, we're giving free, education, blah 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 blah. And when you dig into it, so when you read the art, like when you look at this article, it looks like they might have brokered some kind of deal. As Lou had pointed out here, working for a school as I do, the fastest growing segment of our business is partnering with employers to deliver certification and degrees.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
the other thing, additionally, the company will provide a partial funding up to 5,200 or 5,250 per year for 150 additional programs in fields like including hospitality, engineering, human resources, and art design. Now, the thing about that is that's actually tax deductible, the 5,250 for everybody. So, like, in theory, everybody should be offering this because everybody who's making enough money to be able to afford to need the tax break should be offering this because it's literally part of the tax law. So it's one of those things where it's like, it sounds great because and what she's doing is above and beyond that, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it sounds great, like for like a Target to say it, but it's like really it's just an opportunity for them to get a big tax break and do something right and get an opportunity to have, for say, first dibs on keeping people who are valuable enough to keep around, right? And grow with the business. And grow up in the business versus like only taking people from outside, even if they worked for you a while ago. Now they're coming back because now we value them because they're somebody else. They worked for somebody else. So, I think that it's. I think it's great, and I think that's great that she clearly is going above and beyond, making those kinds of connections and those kinds of deals, contracts to be able to offer above and beyond just the normal 5,250, which not everybody offers, and not every business is in a position to be able to offer that for the tax break because they just don't make enough money at the time and to be able to need the write-off, but. It's something that it's a tool that more businesses can and should use. I know here at Part of Fleet, we're going to be back in the day we did a lot with training, and we're going to be re-expanding into more training. It's a little bit different because I don't think any of the people that work here are looking to go back to school, but to grow their knowledge in the trucking industry, on trucks and repair and that kind of thing. So it's something. It's something that we're reinvesting now that we have expanded to more space, more office space to be able to do it, and be able to offer it for them to be able to do it on the clock because we've offered stuff off the clock and it goes unutilized, unfortunately.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, no, that's a great that is a great touching thing, and good on Dolly for taking advantage of her position to be able to offer that.
She's one
people.
smart business lady, that's for sure.
She is, but she's genuinely very generous, and she's been involved in educational related charities. Very quietly. She never talks about them herself, but people learn about them. And so I think this is also very consistent with her brand and what she's passionate about and her just ongoing work. And I still can't get past the fact that it's effective day one. You don't have to.
That was the bit that surprised me too.
I think that is, again, just the Dolly way. Like she's like, yes, it's there. It attracts talent, attracts more people. But most employers would be like, okay, we're going to dangle this carrot, and this is going to be an incentive for you to stay. You're not going to get this benefit unless you work for us for 6 months. And then if you quit in the next 6 months, you're going to have to pay it all back. Like that sort of dangling that carrot and having that type of parental, control over the her employees and her team is just absent in this benefit. And I think that makes it extremely unique.
I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So what we didn't have, we don't have anything else in our spreadsheet this week, which is fine. It's been a few weeks since we've actually gotten together. I don't recall when was the last time we did a Business Geeks? I feel like it's been
Well, it was back in March, and it would have been around the mid-March, so quite a
so
while.
this was a month. This one was a month ago, and it was just you and me, Sam, on that one. I think.
That's right. So I was
Yeah.
on vacay.
So it's been even. Well, it still says streamed a month ago. They don't tell you the actual date on YouTube, but yeah, it has been a while since we've gotten to do an episode of this together, and I guess I have let's see. I'm trying to think of how to frame the question. So here's the question. So we have a situation where there's processes that were put in place, sort of followed over the last 2 years, but things. It's like, hey, we're on the track, and then like the train's not quite on the track, but it's still going in the general direction. And it's a lot of little things like that that have happened over the last year. Real quick, Brent says, yeah, isn't this a weekly show? It was a weekly show. We moved to a bi-weekly show a couple of months back, 2 months back, something
Yeah.
like that.
And nothing's been changed the same since all the time changes. Like
Well,
Oh,
that's
right.
it's rocked our world and rocked yours too. So
Uh-huh.
yes, but now,
Right,
well,
Brent.
actually, speaking of that, the time change, we're not changing our clocks, right? Is that done? Did they pass that?
I think we're done.
Are we done?
I think I should
There.
have followed that story much more closely because I
Well,
was.
hang on. What exactly? I am a bit behind here. Are you not doing daylight savings anymore?
No, I
I
think we're
think
staying in daylight savings forever. Maybe starting in
Oh,
2023.
wow.
I don't know why they would make us go through this pain just, for 2 more times. But I thought, I'm Googling it here. God, Google, could you take? Oh, so it passed the House, but not the Senate. Oh,
Oh,
no, no,
thanks,
no, no,
Brent.
no, no, yeah, no, no. The Senate did. U.S. Senate approves bill to make daylight savings time permanent,
Okay then.
Wow.
starting in 2023, ending the twice annual changing of clocks. In a move promoted by supporters advocating brighter afternoons and more economic activity.
Okay. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, 2023 is next year, right? Yeah.
Said
Yeah.
supporters agreed that
Yeah.
okay, so it would agreed the change would not take place until November 2023. So we have to go through this pain once more, and then in theory, assuming that Biden signs it or signed it, because according to this article in March, they didn't say whether or not he supported the bill or
And do
not.
you have some parts of the US that don't do daylight savings, or does the whole country do daylight savings?
No, we have like there's literally counties, like parts of states that don't do it. I don't understand how they
Right.
operate their life. Like if I worked in one county and then lived in another county, what time you basically have to live your life on that time to be
It's
there.
all made up, folks.
Yeah,
It's all made up.
yes.
Yeah.
Time is
So
made up.
So we will be stuck in the forward position, apparently, if he signs the bill, which I can't find anything past April. I mean, obviously, we've had some major things happen that take a little more importance than the clock in the last 2 months. But yeah, if they sign it, then it'll be done. Locutus says some parts of Arizona observe daylight savings time, but most of it doesn't. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's the Arizona's the one that comes to mind when trying to figure out what time is it and when.
That sounds like all of Australia. We have 3 time zones in Australia, and when daylight savings hit, we have 5. It is a pain in the neck.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that stinks. So yeah, so once we press forward, assuming it gets signed into law, it will change. I tend to think that I mean longer daylight during the winter would be nice, that extra hour. So it's like, because a lot of people, like, they go to work and it's dark at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, just barely like light outside, and then they're getting done at 5 and it's already dark. So it's like, unless you go out of your building for lunch or have a window, you like literally could just never see the sun until daylight savings time.
I love
Not
daylight savings time.
fun. Yeah, I generally do too. It enables, things, especially when you get like, because we, us here in the northeast, um, we get warm spells, where it might be warm at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can, it's light enough outside that you could go outside and like play with the kids or take your dog for a walk and not be in the dark while doing it. Yeah. So, what was I talking about before?
You
this?
were talking about.
Oh, sorry. There was a
Yeah.
train, and it was kind of on the tracks,
tracks,
and there were
yes.
some
And it
systems.
said choo-choo.
Yeah, stay on your own track, Joe. Stay on your track.
So yeah, so trying to get people to get back into those habits of like, and I don't want to get, obviously I don't want to get too specific, but just getting people back into the habits of doing things the right way, even though they don't necessarily see the big picture of why. Like, one example would be making sure that you get all the data into the database, right? Even if it's maybe in the early stages of a potential customer, relationship. Just so you have that, more, I mean, we get it, right? Information is power. I mean, right? The internet clearly gets it. But it doesn't always click when boots are on the ground and they're the ones actually trying to collect said data. So getting
What's the
people
question,
into that,
Joe?
well,
Yeah,
I
I think I've missed something.
no, it's about, what's your best ways of getting people back into those habits, those processes of doing the things that
inputting.
of like inputting, or just like doing things the right way, the quote unquote right way.
Well, yeah, it's tough when you've let bad habits develop, but without any sort of consequences. But I'd probably start with like, are these good systems? Like, are they good systems to begin with? Do they have like inherent flaws that make them difficult to carry out or less efficient than they could be? And probably the boots on the ground will give you really good insight into that. If they are great, efficient systems, and it's just a matter of people have just gotten, I don't want to say lazy because that's, negative, but I think, if they've just been allowed and it's been accepted for them to take shortcuts or not put things in completely, well, then you've got to, make some sort of consequence if it isn't done correctly. But I don't know what that consequence necessarily would be for bad data entry. And is there somebody else that could be doing the data entry that could just be focused on that task that seems to be taking away from the core of the work that these people are doing? Like, should they even be doing data entry at all from the beginning?
I really like what Jen said there at the beginning, Joe. I think it's really great to get the context before you sort of jump in and go, all right, why isn't this happening? So the way that we deal with that in our company is we always take it straight to a team meeting. Hey guys, this isn't happening. Can you let us know like what's not working? Why isn't it happening? So that we can understand what needs to be changed. Because then at that point, if everyone goes, oh no, it's just because we haven't done it, it's cool. Okay, well then let's all get it done. But by opening it up, it gives people the opportunity to say, well, the reason we're not doing it is because X, Y, Z. And then the conversation changes rather than, well, let's get it done. It's how can we change this so it works for everyone? So I think that the context is such a great place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really strong leadership move too, and makes people that work with you more inclined to, get things done if their input is respected and heard.
Totally.
Yeah, look, I mean, the biggest problem that I think they would come up across, and I know firsthand because I've been there and done it, is customers aren't necessarily willing to give up all that information. When we're talking about addresses, email addresses, I mean, some people are like, I don't even have an email address. It's like it's 2022. How? How do you live your life? How do you live a life at this point?
Really?
Like, in this, I mean, I get it if you're like in your 80s or something, and you're just like, yeah, I got a few years, and I'm not trying to
What
learn
they
new tricks here
probably mean, Joe, is I don't have an email address that I want you
for
to fill
you.
up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, these types of things are, I mean, they are important, regardless if we're going to send marketing messages or not. Like, even just because there's examples like warranty, right? So, like, an example where it's like you check something in and you don't take the person's like information, and then it's supposed to be a warranty job, but then you have to go back to the customer and be like, well, they didn't take any of your information down, so I can't put the warranty through without like your address, a phone number, an email address. Like, these are things that they want to have as warranty companies, or not even warranty companies, but as the manufacturer, especially the manufacturer.
Are
So
you
it's just
explaining
little
to
things
the
like that.
customer the benefit to them? Because people are very cagey about their information for,
And we all
understandably.
understand why.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. It's not just being like marketed to you, but information, having identity stolen and identity theft, all that. So, but if I came in and you were like, look, with your information, we'll be able to communicate your warranty updates, any factory recalls, in a timely manner, then I would probably be much more inclined to be like, well, yeah, that stuff's important. I need to know about that. So I don't know. Are you guys communicating in that way?
That's a great question. Because of the back and forthness of the time that I've had to be up there to really like take in the process that's actually happening every single time. I mean, obviously I have the experience from like 2 years ago, but like I said, things have kind of settled in and adjusted in certain ways here. But just looking at the process as a whole and all that, like I haven't fully gotten that opportunity. Like what I've been working on the last 2 days is getting the phone system to work right, because it was sort of working, but there's been so many new faces and people that have come into the system and have been added to departments, and there just needs to be there actually needs to be a whole like overhaul of our whole phone, like the way our phones are set up, like with the like press one for this, press two for that, three for that, like all those need to be readjusted now that certain people are no longer here and certain needs need to be met and things like that. So I've been working on some new systems within the phone system before looking at the complete overhaul, like recording a new message with all the new prompts and everything like that. So I'm getting around to it, but that was just one of the things that I wanted to get your input on. I mean, like, obviously I'm going to sit down and watch what happens and see how we can improve certain, like I'm working on one of the processes now where they're taking all the information before creating a ticket. And I'm like, but the thing is we have a very strict time stamp. Like at 5 o'clock, the time switches over. And there was a great example just literally yesterday where the call came in at 4:55. That call comes in, after 4:55, the person's like, oh, well, I'm not sure, I'll give you a call back. Well, in the meantime, we got no information other than what was written down. But now at 5 o'clock, the phones now flip over to the Philippines. So there's no information being transferred back from here in the States to the Philippines. And it's like, well, if we had created the ticket or at least created the customer in the meantime from the information which they did give us, we would have a starting point and at least have the information going forward. So
A bit more seamless for the customer.
right, but seamless for us, because the goal is to get it where we can get like third shift, because it's a 24/7 call-in center, right? Well, call-in center. I put that in air quotes, but yeah. So it's little things like that, and it's like, well, this whole call-in center thing was one person before, so you didn't have at this time it flips over to this person, and then it flips over to these people and all that. So it's like, okay, once we get this, set up so that it's more seamless and getting everybody in the habit of doing it the quote unquote right way, or whatever the current right way is, because it's always evolving, then we can look at going down the road and say, okay, now we can add that third shift. So we have somebody in the Philippines not working 13 hours a day, 5 days, 6 days a week. That was, right before he was working like 6 days a week, 16 hours a day. So improvement, but we got to get the process right so we can get more people into that process, so we can grow that and get him to like 8 hours a day. So yeah.
The joys of business.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like little things like that, figuring out what the current processes are from when I left them over 2 years ago to where we can take them going forward. But
it's a big job, but you're up for it.
It is. But that's why
it's an exciting project.
Oh yeah, you sound excited. You're like, oh God, I'm glad.
I actually like doing projects like that because it's something new, it's something fresh, it's not the same over and over. I love solving problems. To me, that's exciting. So I actually do enjoy that kind of stuff. I really don't enjoy the things that you do over and over and over again. Like, that's just so not me.
Yes. Ding ding for that. And ding ding for the end of this episode, because we need to wrap up here. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate Sam and Jen being here, and I appreciate our sponsor, Your Podcast Concierge. See, I remembered it even though it's been like a month. yourpodcastconcierge.com. If you have a podcast, a message, you want to get your podcast, your message out to people, and you don't want to have to learn the editing and the posting and all the things that have to go in to make it a thing and make it happen, go over to yourpodcastconcierge.com, work with Leon and his team to get your podcast up and running with as minimal effort after you record as possible. Anyway, so are we going to be back in 2 weeks? What are we doing here?
I think we are.
I think so.
I think I might have a conflict. Hold on. Let's see. 1, 2.
It's in my calendar.
No, I'm good.
You're good? All right.
We're back in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's on Thursday. Or Friday at 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Time? Eastern Standard Time? Okay. And we'll be back then. I appreciate you all watching. Take care. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Brent, Locutus. Who else was in there? Tim, Brian.
Tim,
and Humbleman and Al. Thank you all for being here and chatting with us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody.